Whenever I went to India, I felt divine protection. This is the music of my soul. I didn't grow up being religious at all. I grew up in a communist Hungary where religion was forbidden, and then suddenly I was, oh my God, I'm home. How is it possible I wasn't born here?
That is actually a Vedic lifestyle. We try to live it here. Started reading the Bhagavad Gita, all answers were there. I had no more question left. Whatever questions I had were answered in the Bhagavad Gita, and I was immediately hooked. I said, that's it, I found it.
This is India, a story in the making, and I'm your host, Lavina Tandon. Hello and welcome to India, a story in the making. Today I'm out and about, and yes, there's a reason for it. I want to find out what draws people born outside of the culture to the Indian spiritual tradition. Now that the Kumbh is still going on, and we are told that about 30 lakh or 3 million people who are foreigners not born in India are going to be visiting the Kumbh, I want to know what makes people go there. And also what makes people connect to the spirituality of India, or the philosophy of India, and Hinduism, if you can say, for some people. And so, to explore that, I'm here in the Krishna Valley. This is the biggest, or one of the largest of its kind, an ecosystem, I can say, that is spread across 300 hectares. And I'm told this is completely self-sufficient. Though I'm going to be speaking to two wonderful ladies in regards to this. And this is where I am, beautiful Krishna Valley. But to tell me more about the valley, I'm going to be joined by Sukhiyanti. And Sukhiyanti, I have a lot of questions with as well. Sukhiyanti, this is you. Thank you very much for talking to us.
My pleasure.
And what a beautiful place.
Yes.
I feel so calm. Normally I don't feel so calm.
That's what you feel when you come here.
I know, it's
Definitely.
come closer. We are in one of these beautiful corridors. I thought, where should I shoot? And I thought, perfect place to shoot here. So can we first tell me about the Krishna Valley?
So Krishna Valley is a Hungarian farm community.
Yeah.
It belongs to ISKCON, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness.
Yes.
It was established 30 years ago by Shivaram Swami and the Hungarian Hare Krishnas. And basically here we try to live the model of the life that is actually a Vedic lifestyle. We try to live it here in Krishna Valley. So very simple life. We're striving for self-sufficiency. We're not connected to electricity, so we don't have any government-provided electricity.
Oh.
Whatever electricity you might see here is either from solar panels, or in worst-case scenario, we might have to use the generator.
Oh.
But otherwise, we try to be completely self-sufficient. So even our water is brought up. We have a well, a community well. It's very, very deep. So we have our own water, we have our own sewage system, we grow our own food. But that's just the self-sufficient side. What we really try to do is follow the Vedic scriptures as it was presented to us by the Acharya of ISKCON, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and we try to live the lifestyle which he taught us. Which helps people to actually achieve spiritual realization.
So self-sufficiency is what it is, isn't it?
So self-sufficiency is the materials aspect, that's the material side of things, right? Because if you live in a very peaceful environment, not supported by the materialistic way of life, then you're able to concentrate on the spiritual aspect.
Yes.
And that is actually our goal, to reach love of God, to reach Krishna. And in order to do that, we're trying to create a society, a community where it's easier to focus.
Making it congenial to do that.
Exactly.
Before I go to my next questions, I was passing through these beautiful murals, and we have Vallabhi, who's really helping us shoot here. She is beautiful. She's left her son at home to do this for us, so I have to thank her for this. Vallabhi, please show what are these murals. And tell me a little bit about this before I go forward to talk.
So when you enter the temple building, you want to really enter into the spiritual world. You really want to absorb the spiritual world. So we have different 3D and images here of the different pastimes of Lord Krishna. For example, this is when Vasudev carried Krishna from the prison in Mathura to Vrindavan to his foster father Nanda Maharaj, and here we can see the pastime of Krishna being carried away by Trinavarta, the wheel-winged, I'm saying it bad, but wheel-winged demon.
I understand, yes. The various attempts to kill Krishna, one of them.
None of them were successful. And so you see the different
And that's Yashoda, of course.
Yeah, she's
trying to find probably butter in his mouth.
Actually, the coward boys, if you see Balaram and the coward boys are behind Krishna, and they told on Krishna that he ate dirt. So now Yashoda is trying to see, because Krishna is saying he didn't eat dirt. So now Yashoda is trying to see if he really ate dirt, and as she looks inside his mouth, she sees the whole
universe, and that's what it is.
Yes, and then she sees herself and Krishna also in it. If you see on the top there, you'll see that little bubble, what she sees the universe, and her and Krishna inside her mouth.
And how beautifully she forgets it as well.
Yes.
That's what she's made to do, otherwise she won't be able to treat Krishna like his son.
Yes. That's correct. This is actually Kaliya, the Kaliya demon, and Krishna is dancing on his hoods because he was poisoning the Yamuna river. And so Krishna is dancing, chastising him by dancing on his hoods, and eventually he chases him away from Vrindavan and the Yamuna river.
Yes. So how beautiful, see Yamuna being made dirty now, and this whole concepts are there, isn't it, of what we talk about of climate change. So how beautiful these whole concepts of climate change and stuff are there, drawn into the philosophy. What I am going to speak to Sukhiyanti specially as a separate episode, but this is just the teaser of Sukhiyanti here. Sukhiyanti, what do you look after here?
Personally, what do I do here? I'm manager of the guest houses, so I make sure that the guests that come to visit Krishna and the Holy Dham are happy and are well accommodated.
Like you make us happy.
I'm hopeful. I hope so.
I had a lot of prasadam, I have to say. So, what made you come here? And
do you really want to go? It's a long story.
We have to discover that long story in another episode, which is going to be there. But tell me a bit more about this valley. Well, the question that I was asking, why are people who are not born in the Indian culture are so attracted to this place, and what it gives them?
Well, it's actually Krishna consciousness which attracts people, because in modern day society, modern day life, many people feel the emptiness, that something is missing, and these questions of who am I and why am I here and why am I going through this motion of life, the answers are not being answered. And so personally I was also feeling like that and searching, not knowing that I'm searching, and then Krishna consciousness gives the answers. It tells you who is God, it tells you who you are. It tells you what is this material world around us, and it tells you how you can reach love of God. So it's the perfect remedy for anything in this world.
What is the one thing that found you?
The one thing that found me, I think it was first of all, it was the devotees. When I first saw those brahmacharis that were European, German brahmacharis, when I saw them, they were shining. And I felt like, wow, they must have something. They must have some secret. And then when they started telling me about the philosophy, and they actually gave me a Bhagavad Gita, and I started reading the Bhagavad Gita, all answers were there. I had no more question left. Whatever questions I had were answered in the Bhagavad Gita, and I was immediately hooked. I said, that's it, I found it. I didn't even know I was searching for it, and I found it.
How beautiful is that? So for all that, you have to watch the next episode. What she found, and what is it that found her as well, and how she landed where she landed. But how many foreigners come here?
As visitors, so in the actual living here, we don't have that many foreigners. The language is difficult, and therefore it can be difficult to get accustomed to living in Hungary as a foreigner. We have more and more foreigners becoming introduced to Krishna Valley. It's not so known outside of Hungary. In Hungary, we're really, really famous. Everybody in Hungary knows.
And they just come here.
Now, so Hungarians come here, they heard about Krishna Valley, they're curious, they want to see what it is, and now slowly, slowly it's becoming more open to the wider crowd. Many Indians started finding out about us and coming here and taking darshan of the deities and seeing this holy dam, and most of them they didn't know. They're like, oh my God, I didn't know we have this here. But also non-Indians, it's starting to get more and more open for foreigners as well.
Tell me what all are there. So you have your cows. I had the beautiful cow milk, and so tell me what all do you have? How have you made yourself self-sufficient?
It wasn't easy. So when the devotees first came here, everything was empty. It was just fields. And they had to, from scratch, start building the whole place. They actually excavated the river, which is the Yamuna River. Maybe we can talk about it later, that actually all the holy places of Vrindavan have manifested here about the meditation and prayers of the devotees. But they really had nothing. They lived very, very simple, and slowly, slowly they started building up the whole community, started bringing the cows here, starting working the land with the oxen. We're talking about 30 years, so a lot has been accomplished throughout these years.
So tell me what all.
So first of all, we have the beautiful temple building and the temple room, the beautiful deities of Radhishyam, which is the center of our lives. We have a beautiful deity worship, which is very opulent, 5 offerings a day. I don't know how many artis actually, like also 5 artis a day. It's very opulent. That's the center. And then on top of that, we have the Goshala, cow barn, right? We have 75 cows and oxen, and we get the milk from our cows, only ahimsa milk. We don't get milk from anywhere else, and the cows are treated with respect and love until the end of their natural lives, which is very important. So none of them are killed under no conditions, the oxen, the calves, everybody. On top of that, we have a vegetable garden where we grow on vegetables. We have orchards where we grow on fruits. We have fields where we grow hay for the cows as well as wheat for us, such as the puris that you ate today was from our own wheat, from our own flour. We have a milling station. We have a mill station which is powered by oxen, so the oxen walk around, and it actually powers the engine which mills the flour, creates oil as well. We create our own oil and other things as well. What else? Own electricity, own water, own sewer system. We have our school, of course. We have our Gurukul. We have from kindergarten until all the way up to high school. Our children actually are educated here in our own community. In the Gurukul, where we have, it's a government established, so we have to, of course, teach what the Hungarian government has dictated for any school operating in Hungary. But we also have spiritual topics. The children learn shlokas. They celebrate special holidays, Vaishnava holidays. They learn about sattva and etiquette and all of these.
And they get degree as well, which is recognized by the government.
Yeah, honeybees. We have we don't create the bees. Some things we still have to buy from the outside. Right. We're not completely self-sufficient yet, even though that's the goal.
That's the goal. So your children study in the Gurukul?
Yes.
Oh, how wonderful. And how many people live here who work and do seva?
So inside Krishna Valley, inside the farm itself, we're about 130 people, including the children. But we also have devotees living in the village here, which is just 1 kilometer outside.
Yes.
The road that goes out to the valley, it's just 1 kilometer, and they're living in the Shamosh Vamash village, about 150, 160 as well, including children. And so the children from the village and from here inside the farm, they go to the Gurukul. Inside the farm, you have the devotees that live in the farm. They serve, they dedicate their whole lives for the project. And the devotees that live outside in the village can choose. Some of them also work here inside the farm itself. Some work outside. It's more of their choice what they would like to do.
Really, how amazing is that? And you do your seva, so you have your grihast life, and then you have your seva here as well. And you have a whole dincharya, or the daily routine.
Yeah. So I guess you're referring to the morning program in the temple. So every day at 4:30 in the morning, we come to the temple room. We have Mangal Arati where we sing different prayers in front of the deities. Then we have 2 hours of japa meditation, personal meditation time. We continue with some more prayers. We have a morning class we read from the Srimad Bhagavatam, and then that's from 4:30 until 8:30. After that, everybody has breakfast, and then at 9:30 we start our daily service. It usually lasts until 5:30, but ladies with children, they do only half day. So until your child is 10 years old, we acknowledge that the mother should be with the child. So the ladies only half day service, and only from the age of 2:30. So when the child is 2:30 and 2.5, then they go to kindergarten, and then only then the mother will start doing service.
So you don't have any option childcare problems?
No, we don't.
No fighting for childcare.
No
fighting.
no.
So in all this corridor will lead us to the darshan, the temple and the darshan. How wonderful. So how did this woman, who is from? Israel. And born in Canada?
I was born in Canada. I was 2 years old when I moved to Israel with my family. My father is Israeli, my mom is Canadian. Yeah.
And how did that work to Budapest? That's the story for next time. But I also want to connect with someone who has gone to the Kumbh. And you will see her. Gru, 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 gru. Come on then. This is the beautiful lady. So Ganga is, come Ganga closer. So she's actually, what's her actual name?
Henriett Tunyogi.
Yeah, Henriett Tunyogi. And she's now become Ganga. And that happened in one of the Kumbhs.
Yes, that happened in 2010, Haridwar Kumbh, during my 40-day silence. I was roaming around, and there was a Raja Babaji who was sitting there, and I went to sit with him. I could not talk, so he asked me questions, so I was only writing. And he asked me, why are you here? And then I said, because I want to know the real me. And I kept going back to Raja Babaji, and then he looked at me one day and he said, from now on you are Ganga.
Oh, and this is Ganga, and she's the one who drove me all the way here. An unbelievable, amazing woman. Again, another episode which is going to come, because this story you want to know. She actually is a ballerina, she's an actor, she's a filmmaker, she's won loads of awards, and she is practicing Hindu. From someone who didn't grow up in religion.
I didn't grow up being religious at all. I grew up in a communist Hungary where religion was forbidden. But when I went to India and we did the morning prayers and the shlokas, I felt I'm home. And I also felt that it always moves me. This is the music of my soul. So that's the essence of who I am. Even though I never heard anything about Hinduism, I went there because I wanted to study yoga, make my life a bit easier as a ballerina. And then suddenly I was, oh my God, I'm home. How is it possible I wasn't born here? Why am I not here all the time?
How wonderful. And this is a story we will come to in another episode, but I want to today just explore Kumbh with you. Tell me, you went to 3 Kumbhs.
Yes.
And why would you go to Kumbh? Kumbh is, can I just quickly say for people who, I know it's the biggest religious festival, the biggest coming together, the spiritual gathering of the world, but there's a story behind it very quickly. If I can, in a very bird's eye view say, it was the demons and the devas, who are the gods, were having this, had to take a nectar out of the ocean, and both efforts, so you can say the positive and the negative in the world, were churning, had to come together to churn out the nectar of immortality. And the demons got their hands on it first, and the gods traveled behind them and were trying to chase them, and 4 drops fell in 4 places. So there was Nasik, Ujjain, Allahabad, which is now Prayagraj, and Haridwar. And this is where the Kumbh happened every 4 years, but after 12 kumbhs, the stars align in a way, and it comes only in 144 years, and that's what is happening in Prayagraj now, which is Mahakumbh, where 30 lakh or 3 million foreigners are expected. Ganga is not able to go there this time because she has a 4-year-old son, but she's gone through 3 other kumbhs, and one of the kumbhs, as we heard, got her the name Ganga. So tell me, why would you go to Kumbh? Because a lot of people feel that this is more a spectacle, it's more than spiritualism, it is more ritualistic than spiritualism. What would draw you to Kumbh?
I think I was drawn to Kumbh by the divine or by destiny, because I had no idea Kumbh existed. I was in Rishikesh, I was doing my 40-day silent practice and studying yoga, and Haridwar is very close to Rishikesh. So one of the teachers took me there, and then I was amazed the devotees and the devotion and the spirituality there. And slowly I was more interested. I also would like to do the bathing and experience what it is. So that was the first one in Haridwar. And then I also went to Prayagraj, that I did the full Kumbh. But it's also by I was guided there, because I spent time with my Guruji, and it happened to be Kumbh is coming. Can you stay longer in India? So I changed my flight 3 times. So I did the full Kumbh experience, the bathing, even in January, and I did the bathing.
Ganga did the Ganga.
I did. Every single day when it was, spiritually the right day, I went, even though it was freezing cold, and I had no idea what will happen, what I have to do. I just went because I felt this is the right thing for me.
But what did it do to you? I mean, what was the experience of taking that dip, living uncomfortably, you said, sleeping just on the floor?
It was comfortable in the uncomfortable, because somehow all millions of people were there for the same reason. And I really felt that I want to be part of this energy, but people are here for good, for better things. And I felt protected. Once I got lost, because the crowd I went with, they just ran because they were so excited. And as a foreigner, completely by myself, and suddenly I was just very close to the river, and I looked around, and everywhere only men devotees. And I know in India you have to be separate from the ladies, from the men. And I said, oh my God, how am I going to get out of here, going to the right place to bathe with the ladies? And I just spotted one of the men, and I said, oh, you look like Shiva, please protect me, because I just don't know how to get out of this. I was like squashed. And then they were absolutely lovely, and I said, no worries, we're gonna protect you, you can do the bathing here. And that's how it was. So whenever I went to India, I felt divine protection. And I traveled by myself. I stayed and meditated in caves, and I never ever had a problem. I always had food, I always had shelter, and I just feel it's where I'm from. Even though I am
that's where soul comes in,
European.
and that's where we are. Your soul belongs to India.
Yes.
It traveled to Hungary, but it belongs to India. Yeah, how wonderful, how beautiful is that? So we will explore Ganga's story of how she became Ganga. She told you a sneak peek, but there is a lot of it. So stay tuned on India's Story in the Making. But before, we'll now walk down, and I think I want to just take Vallabhi's story, who's been shooting it with us as well. Vallabhi, will you speak to us?
Yeah.
Tridevi here with us.
Ahol én tudnék adni könyvet, ott pont nincs meg ez, de...
She's saying something in Hungary which I don't understand. But
I'm sorry.
No, it's absolutely fine. We end up speaking in Hindi all the time. So everyone wears sari here, Vallabhi?
Yes, usually, yes. This is our normal cloth.
Did you have to learn a lot to see how you wear a sari, and how did you do all that?
Actually, my mother was a photographer in magazine, and when I was 4 years old, she met devotees, and we went to the Hare Krishna temple, and I fell in love with sari and everything. I felt myself at home, similar like Ganga, similarly, and my mother didn't join Hare Krishna movement, but we became vegetarians, And then in the kindergarten, how to say Farshang? We have a festival in Hungary when everyone, wears some costume.
They dress up, kids dress up, they wear fun costumes they wear.
Yeah.
It's Farshang.
Yeah, and because my mother was a photographer in a huge magazine, in a famous magazine, he got many PR presents like sari also, and I wear sari in the kindergarten in that.
How
event.
wonderful! So everyone wears. Can you tell you? I have never worn sari properly ever. 4 or 5 times maximum. You guys are doing smashing
People
job.
just showed how to wear, and my mother knew. So my mother showed me how to wear the sari, and I went to the kindergarten in the sari, and I said, I'm a Mataji. You should call me like Mataji, I'm a Mataji, and I put a big sticker here, not like this, bigger, like this. And I said, you should sing Hare Krishna, and I showed what to do, like this, Hare Krishna, because that was what I saw in the Hare Krishna temple. and I said, you should don't eat meat, because this is so...
You tell off everyone?
And I began to preach very straightway.
Okay.
So the teachers and everyone was very freaked out. I was a little bit too how to say, face-to-face preacher. At the time when I was born. And later my mother went to another topics. But she was vegetarian. And then my parents divorced, and I had very, very terrible periods in my life. Horrible. And when I was 16, I was studying in an artist school, and we had a task. I had to write some kind of thesis about an interesting topic, and my topic what I chose was how to say, the path of philosophical path in our life, and the material path also. So I was thinking about what is the real way of life, and what is the goal of our way, and where should I go. And I was reading many different books about many different philosophy, and that time I met again a Hare Krishna devotee in a big square, and I said, Hari Bol, because I knew they say like this, Hare Krishna, Hari Bol. And I said, I'm vegetarian. And this Mataji told me that I could go again to the temple, or not to the temple first. She invited me to visit their Govinda's restaurant, and I went to the Govinda's restaurant, and there was a very kind monk there who was reading up from Bhagavad Gita, and I said, oh, this is so good, because we had a Bhagavad Gita at home, but it was so big. And my mother told me, this is a basic book, you should read this. And I said, oh my God, this is so big, how can I read this? So I was a little bit lazy. So I went to this Bhagavad Gita event, and finally I could know what is inside in this big book. And I was very happy, because I had also many questions, and
all got answered?
Yeah, but the first good experience was this time I met first time in my life, and when I could speak people who could understand my question. Because usually if I had a question, the answer was not the problem was they even didn't understand what is my question.
And what was your question?
I had many questions about life and God.
Okay, I'll ask you a question then. Vallabhi was shooting for us, and now I have to shoot Vallabhi. And can you tell me the significance of, this tilak? What is the significance?
This is a symbol, this tilak. All the different sampradayas have similar but a little bit different tilaks. This made by Mother Ganga's mud, and these 2 lines symbols Krishna's lotus feet, and this little petal or leaf symbols the soul, and that means we belong to Krishna forever. We are spirit souls, we are not this body. And our sampradaya is the Vaishnava sampradaya, and this is the Gaudiya Vaishnava tilak we wear.
What is their actual name actually, Vallabhi? What was it?
Virag. Virag means flower.
Flower. Oh, and you are from Hungary, so you are Hungarian.
Yeah, I was born in
Okay.
Budapest.
Okay. But so what is life for you? What do you understand of life now?
The real life means we can live our life for Krishna. So the real life is when we really love Krishna, God, and we can offer our everything for Him because He's our everything.
And what has it given to you in your life?
Oh, so deep questions. He's my inner guidance, inner guide. I could feel this from my first moment when I was very small, and he arranged everything in my life, and he protected me always when I had this terrible period after my parents' divorce. And now I'm not in a how to say. So now I have a very, very miserable period again because I lost my husband.
Sorry.
2 years ago because of brain tumor. But still I could feel that Krishna is with me, and he was talking to me so we could prepare for this.
Oh. So you can deal with it better.
Yes. It's not easy, but I have no doubt about Krishna's plan. This is also the part of Krishna's plan.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your story with me. And on that note, I think, should we all do the darshan? It is so calm here. It really is. I just want to sit down and pray. And while I do that, I thank you very much for watching this episode. The next 2 episodes will be about and will be from actually Budapest, where I will be exploring why people are so connected with the spiritual Indian traditions and speaking to people like Sukhianti, Ganga, and Adam, who is a Hungarian-born person but is a brilliant astrologer, Ayurveda expert, as well as Vastu Shastra expert as well. So a lot coming in this spiritual series. Thank you, take care, and God bless. Thank you for watching India, a Story in the Making.